India is a country often described as the land of yogis, holy temples, and vibrant festivals. However, take your first step onto its streets, and this image instantly dissolves, making way for a more realistic and even slightly rough picture. Breathing the air here does not always mean getting fresh oxygen. In most cases, it's a mixture of thick smoke, dust, and polluted vapors, so dense and rich that it feels as if an endless bonfire is burning at the very heart of the city, glowing continuously. Road traffic is a separate challenge that leaves a lasting impression. Thousands of cars, motorcycles, rickshaws, and pedestrians all simultaneously send hundreds of honks into the air, as if the entire country is competing to see who can be the loudest and most persistent in sounding the horn. Cows, dogs, and kazis, local goats, silently cross the roads with such confidence and authority that not even a policeman can stop or enforce rules on them. And no one intends to. The true king of the streets in this country is not the driver, but the four-legged resident who peacefully chews its grass while observing the chaos around and feels an absolute sense of freedom. Behind the noise, dust, and heat, there lies a significant and sometimes troubling reality: hygiene. In most areas, washing hands after using the toilet is far from a daily routine. People exit small, often inadequately equipped toilets, straighten their clothes, and continue on their way as if nothing has changed. Moreover, with these same hands, they prepare street food, fragrant, tempting dishes that attract passers-by, but can also send you straight into the dirtiest and often malfunctioning toilets, lacking even basic hygiene items like toilet paper or clean water. India is a land of contrasts and contradictions. You can see a man stepping out of a luxury car accompanied by a driver, and just a few meters away, a barefoot child reaching out a hand in hopes of receiving a coin. You might find yourself among modern buildings and suddenly on a street clogged with garbage, tangled wires, and a persistent smell of spices mixed with sewage. Yet life here never stops. Amid the endless crowd, among traders whose unwavering character and persistent sales pitches leave no room for refusal, Indian life becomes an ongoing test of endurance. Anyone willing to get closer to this country faces a real challenge to their strength and patience. It is an experience that cannot be fully described in words. It can only be felt and experienced personally. Located in South Asia, India shares borders in the north with China, Nepal, and Bhutan, in the west with Pakistan, in the east with Bangladesh and Myanmar, and in the south it is washed by the waters of the Indian Ocean. It is a vast country covering over 3,200,000 square kilometers, making it the seventh largest in the world. Today, India is home to over 1.4 billion people, making it the most populous country on the planet, surpassing even China in population. In simple terms, roughly 1 in 6 people on Earth is Indian. In this country, the air sometimes takes on an almost unnatural quality. In cities like New Delhi, Mumbai, and Kolkata, the smog is so thick and dense that its density is distorted even by strong winds. On certain days, the concentration of harmful substances reaches levels considered dangerous worldwide. Breathing such air is akin to smoking several packs of cigarettes over 24 hours. This is often the reality in Indian megacities. Lungs do not distinguish between spirituality and filth. In terms of air quality, India sometimes reaches levels that the World Health Organization recognizes as not only harmful, but also dangerous to human health. Ironically, thousands of travelers come to these places hoping for solitude, silence, and fresh air, seeking spiritual calm during retreats and meditation. However, in most cases, they face a very different reality. They are forced to inhale smoke, dust, exhaust fumes, and ash generated by the endless burning of garbage. And it seems that this is not enough, as the surrounding environment smell is equally significant. Imagine this scenario. You step through the aromas of spices, tempting street food sizzling in hot pans, open drains, and nearby, a complacent cow grazing peacefully, adding its characteristic scent to this chaotic bouquet of smells. Welcome to the atmosphere of most Indian cities, elusive, intense, and at the same time, chaotic. So much so that sometimes breathing here feels like an extreme challenge, and navigating the streets becomes a real test of patience. Because India's polluted air is not a singular phenomenon, it is accompanied by the loudest concert on the planet, city traffic. Imagine thousands of cars, motorcycles, rickshaws, old buses, bicycles, and even pedestrians sharing the same street, as if performers in an improvised show, demonstrating synchronized movements. Interestingly, for the local residents, all this is not chaos, but a familiar flow of everyday life, a kind of ordinary Tuesday. In India, the horn is not just a utilitarian notification tool. It has become a full-fledged language. Drivers use it to ask others to go ahead, stop, warn about a turn, or simply grab attention. It resembles a massive group chat where instead of words, endless honks and the sounds of compressed engines roar. By the end of the day, ears are already ringing and the heart almost feels squeezed from the constant noise. Yet despite this audio chaos and visual disorder, traffic rules mostly remain theoretical. Traffic lights shining brightly resemble festive decorations. They are there, but hardly anyone pays serious attention to them. Road markings are almost completely ignored. The main goal is to find a free gap and squeeze forward, even if it means driving against the overall flow of traffic. The only exceptions are, of course, the cows. Sacred animals that cross the streets calmly, as if everything is permitted to them. All vehicles stop for them with reverent respect because injuring a cow is considered a much greater sin than breaking traffic rules. As a result, sometimes it takes hours to cover just a few kilometers, facing exhaust fumes, honking horns, and constant fear, whether you might crash into someone or something. Road traffic in India becomes more than just a means of transportation. It is a full sensory experience, a test of patience, and for tourists, often a pure trial of mind and body. And the most ironic aspect is that despite the chaos and disorder incompatible with our understanding of order, accidents happen relatively rarely here. Perhaps it's because all drivers move as if a collision will happen in just a few seconds, which prevents reckless maneuvers. This fear keeps them in a constant state of readiness, as if even the chaos itself acquires a regulatory power. The ability to live amidst this endless vortex of noise and movement seems remarkable. After experiencing the Indian stream of life, one might think that returning to a hotel or home comfort would bring long-awaited peace. But rest here doesn't last long, because in India, even patience for rest has its time limits. Electricity and water operate on a lottery principle. You can never predict when and for how long they will disappear, and you must always be prepared for unexpected outages. Power outages have become so common in modern life that they no longer surprise and are perceived as an integral part of everyday life. Imagine, it's night, the hottest time of day, the air is thick with heat, and suddenly the fan stops abruptly. That moment evokes the same feeling as if the world around has suddenly ceased to exist. The air conditioner, one of the most delicate modern technologies, is also prone to failures, and compared to this, it seems just as vulnerable. At that moment, you lie in bed, seemingly glued to it, and with anxiety wonder, will you ever wake up, or will you wait, completely dehydrated, for dawn? Trying to continue working on your phone, charge it, or simply turn on the light. It's like attempting the impossible. Yet luck often smirks at you. Electricity returns in 10 minutes or even after 10 hours. Interestingly, most people perceive such outages as something quite ordinary, eliciting no strong emotions. For them, it's something familiar, like a hangover or a gloomy day. No electricity, and that's nothing unusual. It's a phrase as commonplace as "good morning." However, while a power outage may only be mildly irritating, the absence of water often turns into a real ordeal and provokes genuine despair. In several cities, turning on the tap is like playing a gamble. You expect water to come out, but most of the time you only hear air or the plaintive sound of an empty, lifeless pipe. And even when water does flow, you can't fully trust it. Tap water is generally unsafe to drink. This means you have to carry bottled water with you, boil it, filter it, or sometimes just pray that it doesn't send you on a week-long journey to the toilet. So many risks are associated with water supply. But what if both electricity and water suddenly go out at once? In that case, you're lost. You can't take a shower, cool down, and your phone won't charge, making it impossible to complain or contact loved ones. All that's left is to quietly watch the dark ceiling, listen to the rhythms of the city that never sleeps and think, here it is, India, and I'm only just beginning to understand it. After all, power outages and water shortages are a kind of Indian way of reminding you that nothing here is guaranteed. Order and comfort are true luxuries, and patience is not just a virtue, but the key tool for survival. Having already discussed the air sometimes resembling smoke or thick clouds and water, full of surprises and unpredictability, now is the perfect moment to move on to a topic that evokes special reverence: food. Indian cuisine in itself is a true legend. Bright, spiced, rich in amazing aromas and genuinely delicious. It captivates everyone who tries its dishes at least once. However, despite its appeal, it also becomes a kind of Russian roulette for your stomach, because predicting how your body will react is quite difficult. Street food is an integral part of the local experience. You can't miss it, as nowhere else can you fully taste the flavor and color of the culture. Patches of sizzling samosas, fragrant curries and sweets, seemingly made for festive moods, create an irresistible desire to try everything at once. Everything seems perfect until you remember that many cooks don't consider hygiene necessary. They may not wash their hands after using the toilet. Yes, those preparing these delightful dishes sometimes have just finished attending to their business and immediately start cooking. The consequences of such an attitude towards sanitation become evident very quickly. Tourists begin rushing to the toilet after the first sting, falling victim to Delhi belly, an acute form of diarrhea that is so common among travelers in India. Unfortunately, the toilets themselves often leave much to be desired. There is no toilet paper, clean water, or basic hygiene essentials. Sometimes, one can only find a rusty pipe with a hose in the corner, making each visit to the toilet a real adventure. Indian street food is a constant source of delight and a risk to your digestion, where everything depends almost on luck. And if you manage to survive the ordeal of the food and water, a new battle begins. For toilet paper. In this country, even the simplest task, obtaining a permit, renewing a document, or registering something, turns into a lengthy marathon filled with bureaucratic obstacles and endless stamps. Behind every window, there is an official who is in no hurry to help, and it often feels as though you are the only person in the world whom they are serving, rather than simply performing their official duty. In other countries, resolving bureaucratic issues can take 10 minutes or a little more, but in India, the process often drags on for hours or even days. Meanwhile, the answers to your questions almost always remain a mystery. You rarely get an explanation. You need one more signature to be obtained tomorrow, or suddenly it turns out that your document is invalid for some formal reason. Then you have to ask again for the same application to be prepared, but with a different stamp, because in Indian bureaucracy the system is more based on tradition than strict rules. There is no universal procedure. Instead, Procedures are a kind of established practice passed down through generations. In this country, contrasts are not hidden, they are obvious and striking. Walking along an avenue lined with modern skyscrapers, luxury shopping centers, and attractive cars with personal drivers, one can easily feel part of the modern world and its wealth. Yet, just across the street, barefoot children beg for a tiny coin to buy food, as if wealth and poverty have decided to live side by side, separated only by a narrow curb. The contrasts are so vividly expressed that they cause inner turmoil and a sense of duality. This is a country that takes pride in technological achievements, satellite launches, and the development of new corporations, but at the same time, it is home to millions living without access to clean water in makeshift shelters, fighting for survival every day. In this city, contrasts are not just a rare phenomenon, they are an integral and most striking feature. The most astonishing thing is that while some enjoy comfort and luxury, for others, the only treasure remains hope, the belief that someone will notice them and give at least a few coins. In this sense, India is a mirror of its own contradictions. Here, extreme wealth and absolute poverty face each other without cover or camouflage. When talking about the inconveniences, it's impossible not to touch on the fate of many women living in this country. Besides the exhausting heat, noisy bustle, and constant chaos, they face a far more troubling and disturbing reality: intense gazes from those around them. These looks are often long, unwavering, and revealing, almost piercing into the body. Sometimes they are accompanied by rude comments, mockery, or even random touches in the crowd, turning an ordinary walk into a real ordeal. The feeling of constant watchfulness never disappears, not even for a moment. And if you are a foreign woman, you attract twice as much attention. The type of clothing, style, or manner doesn't matter. Simply being a woman walking alone is enough to draw unwanted attention. The irony is truly striking. India is a country that worships goddesses, filled with spiritual reverence for femininity, and deifies female images in temples and rituals. Yet in everyday life, many women face a painful and sometimes painfully contradictory attitude. They are often respected less than the goddesses they offer gifts to and worship at altars. And it seems that the noise, environmental pollution, and crazy traffic are not all. The country's climate adds its own touch to the overall picture, reminding us that comfort is more of a privilege than a right. Summer heat in India is like an endless sauna that never turns off, and the humidity turns mornings into a true test. By 8 a.m., you'll be covered in sweat whether you're walking on foot, riding in a taxi, or just standing still. Clothes start sticking to your body, forming an extra layer, and even the most careful effort can't prevent it. And along with the heat comes an army of pesky mosquitoes, which seem to be born solely to ruin your rest. Neither repellents, creams, nor electric traps provide 100% protection, and against these insects one essentially has to fight constantly. Despite all efforts, the harmful insects still find a way to bite. It seems that besides the scorching heat, the country tries to imprint something more on your memory, sinister traces from bites that cause itching and discomfort. And yet it appears that this is not enough. The more thoughts there are about the consequences, the more cynical the situation becomes. Many of these insects carry dangerous diseases, malaria, chikungunya, and even other infectious illnesses which are hazardous to humans. They form nothing but a menu for travelers, completely unaware of the secrets and dangers posed by these tiny foes. All of this ultimately leads to the most unpredictable and sometimes the most challenging aspects of travel: finding toilets, because sooner or later, hot weather, high humidity, and treacherous street food will persuade you to seek out that very one. However, finding it is not so simple, as this often becomes a true test. In many places, public toilets open a series of courage tests for travelers: short, cramped spaces with questionable cleanliness and almost never equipped with toilet paper. If you're lucky, you might encounter a rusty pipe or a bucket of water, which often looks much dirtier than the unpleasant situation you're trying to handle. Therefore, an experienced tourist in India always follows one rule. They always carry a small supply of toilet paper and disinfectant. This is not a whim or luxury, but rather a matter of survival. And although such advice may sound a bit exaggerated, experience shows that even with water, it is not always safe. Tap water often contains bacteria capable of turning your trip to the toilet into a real problem that lasts for several days. That's why it's best to boil, filter, or buy bottled water at the store. Still, in such situations, it's wiser to trust a sealed bottle of water rather than tap water flowing in the hotel. In rural areas, the situation is no less tense. Traveling along roads filled with trucks, motorcycles, and other vehicles is akin to extreme sports. Around every turn, anything could be lurking: a cow that seems to consider the road its own property, or a goat that completely ignores traffic rules, and sometimes even a dog lying calmly right on the asphalt. And the most surprising thing is that no one around pays any attention to it, as in India, even animals have the right to use the roads. But beyond that, there are many other difficult moments. Trucks are overloaded. Motorcycles are like real family transports. Father, mother, 2 children, and even a dog all packed into one vehicle as if in a caricature. Buses look like giant sardine cans with turpentine inside. And if you manage to get to your destination alive and with your nerves intact all day, that's already a real victory. In the end, everything you experience in this country is a true whirlwind of sensations, the endless hum of horns, sparkling electrical wires hanging like decorations, dust rising into the air, unfamiliar people asking to take selfies with you, as if you were a Bollywood star, and bargaining over anything, even a simple bottle of water. The most astonishing thing is that amid all this chaos, life goes on as usual. And at that moment you may wonder, will you be able to adapt to such a rhythm, or will you want to run away after just 3 days? Ultimately, one thing can be said: India cannot be ignored. This country captivates with its extraordinary beauty and vibrancy. On one hand, chaos; on the other, spirituality. It harbors one of the oldest and richest histories in the world. At the same time, the country still faces a series of pressing problems: hygiene and bureaucracy. Here, one of the oldest temples can sit next to a garbage dump, and a successful software engineer might argue for 15 minutes over a manga's price. This land of incredible contrasts continues to amaze and captivate, forcing everyone who visits to view the world from a new perspective. Traveling in India is far from just visiting another country. It is an intense encounter with a unique culture that involves experiencing the strongest culture shock and requires full engagement of all 5 senses. During this journey, many people may either genuinely fall in love with the place or begin to hate it, but they can never remain indifferent to what is happening around them. So, what explains why many are unable to understand India? In truth, the reason is that it doesn't need to be fully understood. It needs to be experienced in its entirety, and perhaps that is its inner magic. All this chaos, sometimes seemingly unmanageable, conceals within it a certain system, a peculiar functioning that can only be grasped through personal perception. A blend of bright colors, rich aromas, and countless sounds. This all has a staggering effect that simultaneously scares and attracts. Ultimately, India is akin to a complex friend who never keeps promises but always manages to surprise with extraordinary wit and unpredictability. Its chaotic nature, excessive activity, and sometimes exhausting brightness make the journey unforgettable and leave a vivid imprint on the soul. Therefore, if you decide to embark on a trip to this giant of South Asia, it's worth preparing in advance. Don't expect comfort and quiet here, because this country is not for those seeking calm and coziness. It suits only those with courage, a strong stomach, and most importantly, sense of humor, to laugh and rejoice even amid the disorder. I hope today's story was interesting and useful for you. If so, try to remember this information and share your impressions in the comments. Your support is very important. It helps us continue creating new, exciting, and inspiring travel stories. Be sure to watch the next video that will appear on your screen. I'm sure it will also be entertaining and informative. Don't forget to share your thoughts and tell us in the comments which country you'd like to visit next. Thank you very much for your attention and interest in our stories. See you soon in the next video.